this, I can get through that. If you cut me wide open, I can cut you some slack. If you're coming, I'm leaving, I might never be back. I know it's not easy, just a matter of fact. If I can get through this, I can get through that. If you cut me wide open, I can cut you some slack.
So I guess you could say I was pleasantly surprised by this special event. Because going in, I didn't think it'd be bad. But I said to myself, this is Extreme Rules. And a lot of these matches don't have extreme stipulations. I was even thinking, why don't we just change it back to Backlash? I loved that name. But let's start with the pre-show. The Wii LC match. I thought that this match was going to be ridiculous. In many ways it was. But more in the offensive side. I mean, they still had mini chairs, mini ladders, even mini tables. But I think it was having 3MB involved, Los Matadors, them fighting all around the ring, and how many table spots did we have, people falling off ladders. I was surprised by how at least entertaining this match was. El Torito got the win, which wasn't too surprising. On to the actual event, though. Triple threat elimination match. Cesaro versus Jack Swagger versus Rob Van Dam. And for anyone who doesn't think Rob Van Dam still has it, I defy you to watch this match and still say that. I thought this match was really good. I like that Swagger got eliminated first. I found it hilarious when Michael Cole was completely confused and lost. It's almost like he didn't know this was an elimination match. He saw Swagger get pinned. He didn't hear a bell, and he thought, oh, he kicked out. And he was, like, quiet. It's like, dude, this is elimination. Like, Michael Cole, sometimes he makes me laugh. Now, when it was just Cesaro and Rob Van Dam going at it, I thought these two really brawled, and I love Cesaro. I mean, he's a Paul Heyman guy, so technically I'm supposed to boo him, I guess, but still, pound for pound, he's one of the best athletes that they have. He's strong as hell. I love the finish where Van Dam went for the 5-star frog splash, landed onto the trash can, and like the corner of it hit his eye pretty bad. He was busted open. So that looked pretty brutal. Cesaro hit his finisher on top of the trash can, got the win. Not surprising, but still, I enjoyed the match. 2-on-1 handicap match. I will say this was probably the most lackluster match of the night. Alexander Rusev versus R-Truth and Xavier Woods. I knew that Rusev was going to destroy these guys, but it's like we didn't even get Woods in this match. He took him out before the match started, and it was just him versus R-Truth for the whole thing. It's like, well, that wasn't as impressive as I thought this was going to be. I did find it amusing that Lana at the beginning, she showed the picture and said, we admire the president of Russia. And that got a lot of good heat with the crowd. So maybe some more stuff like that might get Alexander Rusev a lot of heat. Now, the Intercontinental Championship match, Big E versus Bad News Barrett. I was surprised how much the crowd was into Bad News Barrett. I like Bad News Barrett. I wanted him to win as well, but I still like Big E. I don't like how it's either you like one guy and you have to dislike the other. I mean, I liked both. I just felt like Big E's had the belt long enough. Honestly, they haven't done a lot with him as champion, so it was his time to give it up to somebody like Barrett. And I thought it was a good match. Again, I was disappointed that Big E was doing some impressive stuff. He speared Barrett from the apron to the outside, and it's like the fans barely reacted just because Big E was doing it. I don't know. For a big guy his size, some of the stuff that he can do is unreal. So let's give him some fucking props for that. Maybe it's just me. Bad News Barrett gets the win, of course. Now, on to the match of the night, in my opinion. 6-man tag, Evolution versus Shield. Wow. I don't know what I'm more impressed with. The fact that this was just a brawl. Or the fact that Shield looked really good throughout this whole match. I mean, yeah, Evolution had their moments. Like, I thought they were going to win when the time when Triple H hit the pedigree, but then Dean Ambrose stopped it. Then when Randy Orton hit the RKO, Seth Rollins stopped it. It was like, okay, this is surprising me how good Shield is looking throughout this. And then the four of them fight through the crowd. And for a while, you didn't see Rollins anywhere. And you're just thinking, okay, maybe he just got knocked out somewhere. Then they look up, Orton and Triple H, and Rollins jumps off of the balcony on top of them. And holy shit, was right. That was incredible. For a match that didn't really have any type of special stipulation, this was the best of the night. They really just went for it. And I love that it was down to Reigns and Batista in the ring. I love that Batista got pinned. I mean, I don't hate Batista or anything like that, but I find it ironic that he came in with all of this momentum. He won the Rumble. Everyone was pissed off. He lost big at WrestleMania, and now he lost big tonight. Interesting, right? I'm hearing rumors that he might leave earlier than the plan was, but you know what? If he's going to be a bitch about it, then good riddance, Batista. The Shield. It's hard to believe that these guys were this close to splitting up just a couple of months ago, and now they look stronger than ever. I hope these guys stick together at least for another year, maybe until next WrestleMania. Like, we could really get... In fact, I wouldn't be disappointed if these three just stayed together. If they start to go off and venture off on their own singles careers, let's just keep that sort of unity or that alliance there. Why not? Why do they have to go through a bitter split up? I don't think they have to. On to the steel cage match, John Cena versus Bray Wyatt. I'm not going to say this match was horrible or bad. I did have fun with it, but this disappointed me because there was so much potential on what they could have done here. Steel cage match, you could have had Bray Wyatt beat John Cena decisively, cleanly, in a way to go, wow, Cena, like, his head isn't in the game. Or, wow, Bray, these mind games have worked. And he beats him by himself without anyone's help. But throughout the match, just constantly, Rowan and Harper climbing up, standing over the door. I get the story that they were telling. I get it, completely get it. But it's not the story I would have told. I'm sick. My friend and I were talking about this. We've always talked about this. I'm sick of the way that they book Cena as Super Cena. The fact that he can't be beat. And it's like you need 3 other guys. You need all this crazy shenanigans. And that's the only way Cena ever loses. If you look at the last, I'd say 3, 4, maybe 5 years, the only times Cena has lost cleanly were to Shawn Michaels when they wrestled for an hour on Raw, The Rock, because he's The Rock, and probably because they knew that Cena would beat him the following year. You could say CM Punk, but when that happened, there were shenanigans there too. John Laurinaitis came down to the ring, distracted Cena a little bit, and then Punk got the win at that Money in the Bank show. So, come on. The Daniel Bryan win at SummerSlam, it was clean, but you could argue that Cena had his arm taped up and he was injured, so maybe that's the only reason why Bryan won that match. It's just, but the point is, it sucks that we can't just have, especially a young, up-and-coming, great character like Bray Wyatt, just beat the top guy because he deserves it. Nobody really cares about Cena anymore. The fact that the fans chanting Cena sucks along with his music says a lot. And Cena likes to smile like it's funny. Look, they've started this new funny thing to make fun of me with, and he thinks it's them reacting to him, so it's still good. No, it's us being sick of it. And you could say it was creepy that the lights went off, the little kid was singing with distorted voice. I kind of thought it was too silly. Again, I got it. The fact that a little kid being with the Wyatts cost Cena the match, it makes sense in a way, but I didn't care for the effect on his voice, especially later on when they were backstage and the effect didn't really work all that well, and it's like, okay, well, there goes the mystique of that. Again, that match could have been so much better, especially the outcome. Divas Championship match, Paige versus Tamina. The match was there. It was slightly better than I thought it was going to be. Tamina got some good offense in there. I didn't really think she would win, but she did better than I thought. Paige, very impressive that she was able to get that Scorpion whatever lock onto Tamina, because Tamina's a big girl, so Paige got that on her. Pretty impressive. On to the main event. WWE World Heavyweight Championship Extreme Rules match. Daniel Bryan versus Kane. This match was really good. And in fact, I was surprised this was the main event because between Shield, Evolution, how great that match was, and Triple H's ego, I wouldn't have been surprised if that was the main event. And Cena and Bray Wyatt, I wouldn't have been surprised if that was the main event. But here they're giving it to Bryan, and I love that. They're really trusting him to main event these shows. And I think this match lived up. I don't know what it is, the difference between, like, how many times did we see Bryan and Kane wrestle all of those months ago, but I don't know if it's Kane having the mask and how much more aggressive he is, how much more entertaining this match was, the fact that it was Extreme Rules, the weapons that they used. I mean, I enjoyed them fighting backstage, and then when Bryan knocked Kane out, he had to carry him back on the forklift. That was cool. That was shades of Attitude Era stuff that they just don't do anymore. Not only that, when Kane set the table on fire, I was like, holy shit just got real. We haven't seen this since Mick Foley and Edge. I can't believe we're doing this in, is this even the PG era anymore? Technically, I guess this is the reality era, according to Triple H. And tonight sort of makes sense that that's what this is, because Bryan blocked Kane, knocked him into the fire. Yeah, they were quick to put the fire out, but look, I'd rather that. I'd rather them quickly put Kane out and show how not dangerous it really was to get that moment of a flaming table. It was worth it. And I think the end to that really helped Bryan. And I have a feeling this will continue to pay back. I'm not opposed to it. Again, I really enjoyed Extreme Rules a whole hell of a lot better than I thought it was going to be. Had a lot of fun with the matches. Shield, fucking awesome. Let me know in the comments below, did you see Extreme Rules and what did you think of it? Like and subscribe. Later!